Good morning, bird brains, and today I'm going to tell you why you haven't seen me on this bike or working on this bike for the past month to 2 months, even though I said I was going to. Let's get into it. So a little while back, I was actually out riding this bike, telling you guys about how I'm going to continue to build this bike, but unfortunately I kept practicing for races on this bike and had a pretty nasty crash.
Crash.
I originally was going to do a video about that crash specifically and what kind of happened, but I realized in the footage you couldn't really tell what happened besides me really hitting the out of that tree. But I was under the impression that I just pulled some muscles, you know, bruises here and there, and I was going to be okay. Well, that's not exactly the case. So that crash that you saw there happened on September 13th. Luckily, after 10-20 minutes, I was able to get up, walk around, I didn't have any trouble breathing, and I was able to walk back to the trail and with some assistance, ride back to the camp. If I remember correctly, I even loaded up my bike and all my gear and stuff by myself. Drove myself home, took a nice long hot bath.
I've had a very long, hard day.
And started to ice the areas that hurt. Come Wednesday that week, it was all right. I mean, yeah, it hurt, but I mean, when you go into a tree that hard, it's gonna hurt for a little bit. By the time the weekend rolls around, I feel good enough to try and race, which didn't turn out well. So I thought, okay, I'm hurting a little bit more than I should. Maybe I should go see a doctor. Well, I went and saw a chiropractor instead, which I have full faith in chiropractors. I think that they offer a good service, but they're not doctors. Now, the chiropractor that I chose was just some guy here locally close to my house, and he went ahead and ordered x-rays to see if anything was broken. He took x-rays there in his office, and his x-ray machine looked like it was from the Cold War era, so I didn't really trust that. But with that being said, he said he didn't see anything broken. He said that the only thing he could confirm from the video was whiplash.
All right, so here we go. Here's a beautiful afternoon. Boom, there's me. All right, picture that as me on the bike, but the bike is invisible. All right, and this over here is gonna be the tree. This is our tree. So we go back. I'm riding. I hit a bump. Okay, that bump caused me to lose my grip, and when I re-gripped, it was at full throttle, and the bike starts to come up. You'll see in the video, I actually let my wrist off to try to stop doing what I'm doing, but at that point it was too late. The bike quickly leaves me out from between my legs here and goes that way, and I continue to go towards the tree at a high rate of speed, while at the same time starting to lean back. As I come to the tree, I do see it, and I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible. But, of course, physics don't work that way, and I end up making first contact with my left leg. Once my left leg hits, I try to slow my body down, but I lost very little speed before eventually coming in and making contact with the tree with my butt. Now, you might think that would hurt the tailbone, but it was more on the butt, so my tailbone did not get it. But I felt pretty much every bone in my spine here say hello to each other. Momentum carried me sideways from here, with my head still coming forward. My chin pretty much touched my belly button as it continued to fold me up like so. And right here is the area that hurt the most after the crash. And that ends up being kind of where the injuries actually did occur.
Okay, so now that you see that, you can see that it's pretty easy to tell that I did have a little bit of whiplash despite having a neck brace on. I'm very thankful I had all my stuff on because I don't even know what could have happened if I didn't. But he was pretty confident that nothing was broken and that it was just a bone bruise, and he said that we're gonna keep coming in for weekly appointments, get adjusted, see how the pain goes from there, and basically just keep a close eye on it. So we ended up doing that for 2 weeks after that. So I went and saw him 3 weeks in a row, and the pain was kind of getting better. I was icing and heating a lot, but it still was present enough to be a factor in my day-to-day life. Despite that, I decided to go ahead and try to race again 4 weeks later on the weekend of October 10th. So just over about a month. And after a lap of practice, I decided that's not a good idea because the course was brutal and I didn't want to put my bike nor my body through that. It was a race that was going to be really easy to go down, and that's not something I wanted to be doing with my back hurting as much as it was. So on the Wednesday after that weekend, around October 14th-ish, I decided to go see my primary care physician, who's a really good doctor. She really cares about her patients, and I knew that she was going to take the proper steps to get me healed correctly. So I went in and told her about the accident, showed her the video, gave her all the information. She said, I definitely want to get x-rays, but since we're 4 weeks into this, I want to go ahead and order an MRI if I don't see anything on the x-rays. So I thought, cool. Going for x-rays, and once again, she does not see anything broken on the x-rays. So she orders an MRI for the next day. Next day rolls around, I go in for my MRI. It takes like 35 minutes in an MRI machine, which was the longest MRI I've ever heard of. I don't know, it was my first one, but I don't think they usually take that long. Anyways, the next day she calls me back and I fractured not one, but 2 vertebrae. I have a compression fracture in my T11 and T12 vertebrae, and the disc that goes in between it has herniated into the T12 vertebrae and is bulging out the sides as well. So essentially I broke my f***ing back. Now I know people say fracture different than break, you're absolutely right, but I mean, potato, potato. It hurts, it really does hurt, and basically the doctor has said to take it easy for the next 2 months. She said it's just one of those breaks that you can't really, put a cast on your entire torso. So she said, try to, stay horizontal as much as possible. Don't be lifting any heavy loads. And then she told me to stay off the bikes, both street and dirt, until I'm completely healed. So, yay. What's weird about this injury though is that I can ride my mountain bike. That's what I was doing for cardio to keep in shape while in between the races, and I can ride my mountain bike for an hour, hour and a half, not have any pain whatsoever. I mean, stiffness here and there, but nothing that, grabs your attention. But what hurts the most is literally just standing. Not like the process of standing up, but just standing, like waiting in line for something absolutely kills after 5 minutes. A very short amount of time, and I feel like I'm gonna die. So unfortunately, that means that I can't work on the bike. Even recording this video hunched over on this little garage stool is not pleasant, but I felt like I needed to talk to you guys. I needed to give you guys a reason why I just kind of came back, and it felt like I had my mojo going and everything was good, and then just dropped off the planet again. But I guess if you want to focus on some positive, since I do have quite a bit of downtime, I think I'm going to go ahead and get the Fat Bob set up for paint. Now I'm having a world of trouble finding a reputable painter in this area. So if you're in the San Antonio, Austin, shit, I'll even go up to Dallas area to get all I need is solid white, gloss white. I'm going to go ahead and do just the decals on top of the paint. So I just need white. The body is in perfect condition. It won't need any Bondo or filling or dent repair, anything like that. It'll be a simple sand and paint job. But do it yourself. One, I kind of would like to do that, but I don't really have a good setup, and if I'm going to do it, I want it done right. And plus the whole I can't stand up for more than a couple minutes thing. So yeah, that's kind of where we sit at with the build. Unfortunately, going to be another long delay. This one is completely different from the last one, but it's a delay nonetheless. And my firstborn bebe is due for delivery in less than a month, so that's going to take some time. Also, dealing with a newborn with a fractured vertebrae is not going to be fun, I'm suspecting. But I'm trying to keep my hopes up. I really am. I know there's going to be people that say, stay off the dirt bike, you suck, it's just going to hurt you, which you're not entirely wrong. I am pretty terrible at it, but I mean, even the pros get hurt. It's just something that comes with the sport. And if we want to talk about that, yeah, road bikes are so much safer. I compare dirt bikes and street bikes to inpatient versus outpatient procedures, but that's neither here nor there. But anyways, guys, that is my catch-up video, my fill-in update video on the Fat Bob build series. I I haven't lost my mojo or my urge to get back to building. I think about it daily. I've got parts just sitting on the shelf over there waiting to be put on. But this is just one of those things that if I don't follow the doctor's orders and try to just keep living life as normal, this could turn to something that could haunt me for my entire life, not just my riding career or my YouTube career. This is something that could, you know, last a long time. And I don't even know if I'm completely out of the woods yet. I see a spine specialist in a few days, and he's going to determine if I need surgery or not. They said it's very unlikely. They said it's a very small chance of that happening, but they're going to get the MRI sent over to him, and he's going to be the one that makes the final call to see if surgery is needed or not. So still not completely out of the woods, but fingers crossed that it's just going to take a couple months of rest and relaxation, which to most people sounds awesome, but I hate rest and relaxation. I really can't stand sitting still and doing nothing. I've exhausted so many things during the course of the pandemic even that were, you know, sit at home and do nothing activities, and I'm just kind of freaking tapped out right now. So I gotta find some cheap indoor not get off your ass hobbies to pick up for the next couple months, because I'm gonna lose my mind if I don't. Actually, you guys might have some ideas. So if you have a hobby or know of hobbies that require a little money, but not a lot of money, that don't require physical activity and can be indoors while sitting down, drop them down in the comments below. Other than that, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Actually, even if you didn't like it, but you like me and were wishing me well, I don't want your thoughts and prayers. I want your thumbs up, because that's what I'm a whore for. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.